Hello, this is Ms. DB, and in this lesson we are going to review how to divide polynomials. So this will be in two parts. Today we'll learn how to do long division, and in the next video you will learn about synthetic division. So if you want to divide one polynomial by another polynomial, then it's very similar to dividing numbers. So I'm going to go through the steps to using long division if we wanted to divide 277 by 12. So the larger number, the 277, goes inside the division sign, and then the 12 goes out here. And then you start to think about how many times does 12 go into 27. So in other words, 12 times 1 is only 12. 12 times 2 is 24. That's pretty close. 12 times 3 is 36. So let's try 12 times 2. So I put the 2 above the 7, and then I multiply back. So then I take 2 times 12, and that is 24. And I write that underneath the 2, 7. And then you subtract the 24 from the 27. Remember that step? So 7 minus 4 is 3, and 2 minus 2 is 0. Then our next step is to bring down the 7. So I bring down the next term. Now I repeat the steps just like if I had 37 divided by 12. So I think 12 times what equals 37? How many times does 12 go into 37? And 12 times 2 is 24. 12 times 3 is 36. So that is the one that I want. So then you multiply back. Again, you take 3 times 12, and you would have 36. And you write that underneath the 37. And then you subtract. And then 7 minus 6 is 1. So I get a remainder of 1, and then I take the 1 and I put it on top over the number that I divided by, so over the 12. So this answer would be 23 and 1/12. Now you could also keep going and get a decimal answer, or you might have, when you first did this, you probably just wrote remainder 1. So we are going to use steps similar to that to do polynomial long division. So here it is using arithmetic like we just did. And here's an example with polynomial long division, which we're going to learn how to do today. You'll see it's set up very similar. The dividend, the larger number, or in this case the polynomial, will go inside the division sign, and the divisor, or the number that you are dividing by, goes on the outside. And you will be subtracting. After you multiply, you'll say how many times does x go into 2x squared, and then you'll multiply back, and then you'll subtract, and you'll drop the next part down, and so on, until you get a remainder, and then we'll learn what to do with that remainder. So it's very similar to long division with just numbers. So to divide this problem with long division, first of all, both of your parts, your dividend and your divisor, need to be written in standard form. So that would be 2y cubed minus y squared plus 0y plus 25. So you might have to use placeholders. So in this example, we have to use the term 0y to keep its place. So now we're going to write our division just like if it had been just numbers. You put the y minus 3 on the outside, and then on the inside of the division sign, we put the 2y cubed minus y squared plus 0y plus 25. All right, now here's how you divide. To begin with, you think to yourself, how many times does y go into 2y cubed? You might even off to the side write 2y cubed divided by y. And if I simplify just this little problem, I would get 2, because there is no 2 on the bottom, so there's nothing to divide the 2 by, and y cubed over y to the 1, that's y times y over y, is y squared. So I'd have 2y squared, and that's what you write on the top, 2y squared. Now we're going to multiply back. We're going to take 2y squared times y minus 3, and we'll put that answer down here. So we have to multiply 2y squared times y minus 3. So I distribute, and I get 2y cubed minus 6y squared. And that's what's going to get written underneath here. Now we need to subtract that. When you subtract a binomial, it changes the sign of both terms. So we really have negative 2y cubed plus 6y squared, and then we add, well, we combine our like terms. So then I have negative 1y squared plus 6y squared is 5y squared. 2y cubed minus 2y cubed is 0, so I don't have to write that. And then you bring down your next term, which is your y term. Okay, now I'm ready for the next part. Where's my pen? I'm going to change to another color. Now I'm going to take, it's another division part, I take how many times does y go into 5y squared? So 5y squared divided by y is going to be 5y. So I put plus 5y on the top. Now you multiply back. We're going to take 5y times y minus 3. And that would be 5y squared minus 15y. So underneath here you write 5y squared minus 15y. But the rule is that I have to subtract that. So I write minus, and I have to take the opposite of this sign. So I'll get 15y, and then bring down your next term. All right, I'm just going to erase mine because they have the same thing. The only difference is they wrote a minus in front of the parentheses, and I took the parentheses away and wrote minus plus. All right, now I repeat one more time, and I say what is, well, how many times does y go into 15y? So in other words, 15y divided by y. Well, that's just 15. So up here, I'm going to put plus 15. And then I'm going to multiply back one more time. And I'm going to multiply 15 times y minus 3, which will be 15y minus 45. And then I have to take the opposite sign of both because I'm subtracting. So I'll actually add these together. 25 plus 45 is 70. Yeah. So my remainder is 70. The way we write our remainder generally is we would write this as plus 70 over y minus 3. Because the y minus 3 is what I had here. So you put your remainder at the end over your divisor, what you divided by, y minus 3. So then your final answer is 2y squared plus 5y plus 15 plus 70 over y minus 3. All right, this is an example from your worksheet. So get your worksheet out and look at number 4, and you can do this one along with me. So again, we are going to start by making sure that this is in standard form. 2x squared plus 9x plus 9. This is in standard form and there's no terms missing, so I don't have to use any placeholders this time. The x plus 4 is going to go in front on the outside, and then the 2x squared plus 9x plus 9 goes inside the division brackets. All right, now we're ready to divide. So they already wrote 2x, but how did they get that? Let's think for a minute. We are going to look at how many times x goes into 2x squared. So we want to know 2x squared divided by x would be equal to, well, x squared over x is just x, and 2 over, I guess, 1 if you want, is 2x. That's where the 2x came from. Now we have to multiply back. We need to take 2x times x plus 4. So we're going to distribute, and that would be 2x squared plus 8x. That's what you write underneath, right, like that. Then the next step is that we have to subtract that. And when we subtract this, we really are taking the opposite of this one and then the opposite of our second term as well. So 9x minus 8x is 1x, and then we bring down the 9. All right, now we're ready for another division. Now we look at x and we say how many times does x go into x? Well, x goes into x one time, X over x is 1. So up here we write plus 1, and then we multiply back. 1 times x plus 4 is x plus 4. Now we have to subtract that from the x plus 9. So we are going to subtract, and that also has to be a negative. 9 minus 4 is 5, and there's no more division to do, so that means our remainder is 5, and we put that over our x plus 4. And that's it. The answer for this one would be 2x plus 1 plus 5 over x plus 4. Oh, they got negative 5, but they're wrong. It's not negative 5. This is a plus 9. This would be a minus 4. It should be a positive 5. How do they get negative? It's just a mistake. I'm changing that. All right, here's number 7 from your worksheet. I'll start this one off. Now notice that it's in standard form, but there's no x term. We can write it if we need to. And there's no constant. So let me add those just in case we need that many more terms. Now this one is an x squared, so it's a little bit different, a little bit trickier. So we have to think about what is 10x to the 4th divided by 5x squared. So x to the 4th is x times x times x times x, and x squared is x times x. So these would cancel, and you'd be left with x squared for the variable part. And 10 divided by 5 is 2. So this would be 2x squared. And then we multiply back. Now this time there is not a binomial here, so you just multiply these 2x squared times 5x squared, and that would be 10x to the 4th. And then we subtract, and there won't be anything left there. So now we bring down our next term. And then off to the side, or on scratch paper, you think about what is negative 20x to the 3rd divided by 5x squared. See that I brought the minus down too? You have to do that. So, x to the 3rd over x squared. Well, you can subtract the exponents, that's the rule, and you get x to the 1. And negative 20 divided by 5 would be negative 4. So this is going to equal, up on top, you write negative 4x. And then you multiply back. So negative 4x times 5x squared is equal to negative 20x cubed. Exactly what I had before. But then we have to subtract, which changes the sign, so I get 0 again. And then we just bring down our next term, which is 25x squared. 25x squared, and divide that by 5x squared. Well, the x squared divided by x squared, that cancels. 2 minus 2 is 0. And 25 divided by 5 is just 5. Whoa. So up here, you put plus 5, and then you multiply back. And 5 times 5x squared is 25x squared. And you subtract, and you get 0. Now, do I need to do plus 0x? No, because it's not going to go in there any more times. And I have pretty much run out of division anyway because I got to the 5. So this one there is no remainder because I got 0 when I subtracted the last thing. Okay, let's set this one up. We have 3x cubed plus 9x squared minus 14. This one needs a placeholder. The x plus 3 will go out here, and then inside you put 3x cubed plus 9x squared plus 0x minus 14. We need the x term as a placeholder because there was a minus 14, a constant after that. And then you start dividing. You start thinking about, all right, the first term is 3x cubed, and we just look at the x. We want to think, what would that be if I divided it by x? That has an exponent of 1. The rule is when you're dividing the same base, you can subtract their exponents. So this would be 3x squared. And then when we figure out that 3x squared is how many times that x would go into 3x cubed, then you write 3x squared up here, and then you multiply back. So 3x squared times x plus 3 would be 3x cubed plus 3x squared, and then we subtract. So when I subtract, I change both of these signs to the opposite, so they're both going to be negative. And then we add them together, and 9x squared plus negative 3x squared, or minus 3x squared, would be 6x squared, and then you bring down the next term. And then you repeat the process. You say, okay, well, how many times does x go into 6x squared? And then that number will go on top, and then you'll multiply back and write it down below. Then you'll subtract, and then you'll bring down the last term. So finish this one up on your own, and let me know if you have any questions or if you get stuck. And I look forward to working with you soon. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.